Hey guys, Ajax22 here, and working on carbs. Scored a $20 Holley double pumper. This is very similar to the body that we already have. When we have is a 477-3 on the car right now. This is a 477-4. Basically just the 4150 Holley double pumper and 650 CFM. A couple of little differences on this one. It's got metal arms, so I'm probably going to harvest this base plate and use the base plate off this one instead of the other one, because I prefer the metal accessories and stuff if I can set it up the same. And it seems to have decent floats. So looks like they actually rebuilt it and ran it for like a tiny bit and then just sort of left it. Seals are all dry, it needed a rebuild anyway, but I ordered a factory original rebuild kit as a spare backup for the other carb from, like, you know, 1870s. So we're gonna see how nice that is. Anyway, I'm gonna harvest these floats. We're gonna soak them in gas and see if they continue to float after being soaked in gas, and then we'll you know, probably not rebuild this one right away, but next couple weeks probably, and then we can put the main one together, put it on the car, and go. But yeah, gonna steal a couple of things, like these little plastic dealies up here. One of the ones in the other car was cracked. I think that's a splash preventer of some kind. Also gonna pull the jets and see what size this one's set up for. Nice thing about these is if you can grab one of these for 20 bucks, you should grab one of these for 20 bucks. Just make sure it's a double pumper. And I don't know, this should go without saying, but double pumpers, you identify, see that? If it's got two of those, it's a double pumper. You'd be surprised how many people don't know that. This was in a pile of carbs. The whole pile was 50 bucks, or just this one I got for 20. Because the other carbs were air velocity secondaries and other stupid stuff that I don't really want to run right now. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to it. All right, so we're taking a break from carburetors to work on the electrical system for this thing. Got a Honeywell black box, so you can see we've gutted it. This was for the oxygen system, a 727, I think. Anyway, got a boat fuse panel, so we can actually fuse this and hopefully not light ourselves on fire. And then this is going to be starter button. It's a galley switch. Running that switch right there. Up here we're going to have a big, not a starter switch, but a nice positive heavy feedback potted switch for using on the flamethrowers. Going to have a couple of rows of other switches that do arming, disarming, ignition power, that sort of thing, and then there'll be some hidden kill switches inside the car just cause. And then I'm gonna probably, just because it would be cool, have an old volt gauge, because I kind of want one. Yeah, had to bore that out on the mill. This is already milled out, but we haven't drilled and tapped it for screw holes yet. It's a really cool fixture. I'll probably wind up adding some gaskets to it and stuff, and then grommeting it for everything else. But making it happen. All right, back to it. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you where we're at. This is the finished machining on the box. I already got the little lights on, but yeah, gutted it. Need to put a couple of grommets inside it and wire a few things up, but I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff inserted. The switch panel, I had to replace a fuse thingy holder, and I need to make a hold down for the fire control box. It's actually for controlling the fire, but yeah, get the rest of the stuff mocked up in there so you can see what it looks like. Back in a flash. All right guys, we've been putting in a lot of work. Wiring's coming. Yeah, switch box mounted, everything's hooked up. Still need to put some grommets in and keep the wires from rubbing through. I need to make it all pretty and less modern looking. But before we do that, we got to get the relays in for the brake lights. But where we're at now, you can, well, helps if you prime it. But yeah, pretty cool. Still got to wire up a bunch of the combo stuff, but we'll have that done. Today is a win if we get the brake lights wired and everything installed with turn signals. Turn signals should be working. Need to get the passenger seat mounted, which means a junkyard trip. I think I got a 73 Lincoln located we can go pull them off of. So if we do that, then we got passenger seat, we got turns, signals, stops, runs. We got to get the battery tray back in. I pulled it out so we could wire wheel it because it's getting kind of rough. Yeah, I got to wire up the blinker module for the turn signals. Got to get headlights hooked up, but headlights aren't absolutely necessary for the win. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with brake lights, turn signals, and rails today. I'd really like to be able to pull the Holly back off. I got a set of smaller jets for it, so we're gonna jet it down to 0.64s in the front and 0.74s in the rear, and see if we can get it a little bit less rich running. And if, you know, a miracle happens, we'll get the exhaust pipes you know, trimmed down and mounted, or honestly even just tack welded at this point. I can grind the tacks and play with them later. But yeah, see what we're dealing with is that much gap. I'd like to trim that into, you know, that much gap. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, back to it.
Enough, right?
Yeah. Ooh. Welcome to cast.
Is that about where it needs to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that thing in the center? Or is that thing offset?
I think it's in the center. I think.
We
Looks
can
like
just
it.
drill a hole through what's left of that and go down below it and call that the first spot.
Yeah, we could. Let's do that.
So let me clear a little more of that rib.
Okay, guys, here's what we're looking at so far. Got the switches in. These are actually supposedly out of an old, I think an F4 or a MiG or something. We drilled them out to make them fit a little bit better. You can see there's a slot milled to keep these things from rotating, because those are irritating. They always look like crap when the switch cover starts spinning. We got a couple of safety switches, a couple of switch covers to hide the position, so that I can use the combination of these to actually set my run code for the starter button, and it'll also have a code. One of the codes will activate the starter button, one of the codes will activate this button right here, which is not a starter button, that's the flamethrowers. And then we've got a main standard fuse panel out of, you know, boat or RV. That looks pretty cool. We repaired the one that was broken. And I think we might wind up adding a main power disconnect. on. I really like how this came out. But yeah, so we've got the, you know, galley made starter button switch. We've got the flamethrower. This all holds together using little thumb nuts, so if it starts to short out, I can disassemble it. I had an issue in a Caprice one time where it had a very custom electronic package that decided to light on fire, and it's hard to find a screwdriver when your car is smoking. Anyway, still got to come up with some, you know, grommets, but this will get us running, so that's where we're at. All right, on to the next. Hey guys, so yesterday we got this thing up on a trailer, drove under its own power. Well, we had to put the carb on and screw around with that first, and then hauled it over to AR-15 Barrels in Van Nuys, whose wife is not super happy about it being here, but this is probably the best place we're going to have as far as an option to do the welding and modification to mount the seat rails and do all the wiring, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to have a start run box. It's going to be pretty epic. Haven't tracked down the police center console that I really want to have yet, but also looks like I need to add a little bit of air to at least one of the tires, but it's pretty close. But yeah, a lot of media awesomeness going on here. In a residential setting, this thing looks ridiculous. Hard to capture just how ludicrous this looks. Yeah, it's a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to it. Have a good one. Okay, we're just mounting the seats finally. Made weld certs. Doing these holes. That lets you use Ford bench rails on Chevy seats inside of a Ford. Yay! All right, guys, 2 bungs stuffed in. Welds ain't the cleanest I've ever done, but they work, so that's what's important. Anyway, give me a sec, and through the magic of video production, the seat will be stuffed into the holes and bolted down. Okay, we got the seat in, bolted, you know, as solid as these things go. It looks like I'll actually be able to fit into it. Probably not going to be a lot of road head without removing the steering wheel, but thankfully the steering wheel removes. So, you know, that design flaw was averted. Yeah, you know, if I had my dream world, I'd probably move everything back 2 inches, but that's where the reinforcements in the floor are, and anything other than that's going to require like actually caging it. So one fun thing that happened as the result of using the springs from the bench seat to make the brackets for the bucket is if you pull this lever right here, it's basically like an ejection seat. The springs are kind of out of control, but I like it. So anyway, on to the next. Hey guys, from this side you can see where the box is going to be going. So what we're doing right now is we made a couple of weld-in bungs, almost exactly like what we did with the seat. We're going to stick them right here in the middle of this, and then butt it up against that side. We'll have the switch box so we can do switchy things. Then attention's going to turn to welding tabs onto the dash so we can do some dash things, because we got to get all that as in as we can. Especially while we're here in the driveway, that's necessary. But yeah, on it. All right, guys, we've been putting in a lot of work. Wiring's coming. Yeah, switch box mounted. Everything's hooked up. Still need to put some grommets in and keep the wires from rubbing through. I need to make it all pretty and less modern looking. But before we do that, we got to get the relays in for the brake lights. But where we're at now, you can, well, it helps if you prime it. But yeah, pretty cool. Still got to wire up a bunch of the combo stuff, but we'll have that done. Today is a win if we get the brake lights wired, everything installed with turn signals. Turn signals should be working. Need to get the passenger seat mounted, which means a junkyard trip. I think I got a 73 Lincoln located we can go pull them off of. So if we do that, then we got passenger seat, we got turns, signals, stops, runs. We got to get the battery tray back in. I pulled it out so we could wire wheel it because it's getting kind of rough. Yeah, I got to wire up the blinker module for the turn signals. Got to get headlights hooked up, but headlights aren't absolutely necessary for the wind. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with brake lights, turn signals, and rails today. I'd really like to be able to pull the Holly back off. I got a set of smaller jets for it, so we're gonna jet it down to 0.64s in the front and 0.74s in the rear, and see if we can get it a little bit less rich running. And if, you know, a miracle happens, we'll get the exhaust pipes, you know, trimmed down and mounted, or honestly, even just tack welded at this point. I can grind the tacks and play with them later. But yeah, see what we're dealing with is that much gap. I'd like to trim that into, you know, that much gap. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, back to it. Hey guys, we're here switching out the metal float and going over to a 0.64 primary jet, and then we're going to move the 0.74s that were in the primaries over to the secondary. So it should be more in line with what we're looking at for a 400 cube motor with low compression. Another thing, bam, you need to get some of this stuff if you're going to be working on one of these. See that little tiny bit of blue that's stuck there? One or two more disassemblies of this, and then that gasket would be torn to where it would not go back on. So if you want to keep the thing from sticking, spray the gaskets with silicone lubricant. Super useful a little bit. Anyway, gonna get back to it. Just wanted to share what we're up to. Look at this wondrous sight. Actual functional running lights. Brake lights coming soon. But yeah, had to rewire everything. But yeah, pretty epic. And we're turning them off. Oh, if you guys want to kick down on the GoFundMe on this, you could use it. That's you know, GoFundMe/Rocket Launchero. Otherwise, share, comment, hold us accountable, because, you know, we're trying to stay on top of it, but a lot going on. Anyway, have a good one. Hey guys, we found a Launchero here in the pickup part, and yeah, might have the seat rails we need. In fact, it does, but the bolts are so rusted we're actually gonna have to cut the floor pans to get them out. So that's happening. Sitting here staring at all this stuff. I was like, well, I could use a, no, I can't. Well, I could use a, no. I gotta figure out the whole window regulator thing. I tried pulling them out, but it looks like I have to cut some sort of rivet to get them. So we might have to take a whole door if we're gonna go that route, which is not really what I'm aiming for if I can avoid it. But yeah, gonna scavenge through and see what else we can find. Okay, we're back from the pick apart. It was totally unable to get those seat rails out. They're actually rusted into the car solid. So I've been working on the beast. As you can see, the holes that were in the firewall have been pop riveted up with donations from local municipalities. So that's happening. Hopefully there'll be a little less burning oil type stuff in the cab with us. We've got a couple more to make, but yeah, might wind up making a temporary set of seat rails out of these Chevy brackets, which is more sacrilege, but you know, getting there. Got to clean all this out, and then yeah, see how much we can get hooked up to work. But we're gonna probably be on the road to Wasteland in the morning, or afternoon, or you know, sometime tomorrow. Time's come. All right. Hey guys. All right, we've been through an ordeal, but to get it up on the trailer that I borrowed, we had to unbolt the meat plow. Meat plow is actually stuffed in the back. Did not, I don't think you can see this very well, but it's there. Spiky thing up in the moonlight. Didn't get the exhaust tips on, didn't get the passenger seat done. Did stop some of the oil that was squirting out onto the exhaust manifold, so that happened. Wiring's good, battery's a piece of crap, so we're probably gonna wind up having to jump start it. Just, you know, not enough money. Grabbed a little moped to tinker on while we were doing it. It was the guy who had the trailer was letting us borrow it. Had it in his backyard, and he's like, "You want to take this and work on it while you're up there?" And fuck yeah. Yeah, okay, there goes my YouTube rating. Working on the language thing, sorry about that. Yeah, so expedition's loaded up. We're gonna go convoy on up and try really hard not to break down. Wasteland, next stop. Hey guys, made it. Here she is. Wasteland weekend. Video of it rolling around because it really doesn't do it justice. It rides good. All right, I'm gonna go do some more partying now.